Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Abil Qasim Muhammad wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin alladhina adhhaba Allahu anhum ar-rijsa wa tahharahum tathira. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. We're discussing Prophet Adam's creation, okay, and what happened there in a nutshell. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created him, okay, and the process of creation is described in some of the traditions, but he was created and angels were told to bow down, okay. Everyone did it except Iblis, okay, and he was thrown out. And then he argued with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, and those verses also I quoted last time, and in Quran it's mentioned many places, not one, many places. The story is there in Surah Swad, 38th Surah of Quran, okay. Surah Hajj, 15th Surah of Quran, Surah Kahf, 18th Surah of Quran, Surah Araf, 7th Surah of Quran. Okay, these were discussed last week, I think, or the week before. Okay. So eventually he was thrown out. Okay, someone asked me a question a few nights ago here. He listens to this, during the day, when he gets a chance. And the question was, if he was jinn, okay, how was he with the malaik? Okay, as Quran says, okay, that he was from jinn. Okay, that's number one. Second question is that he alone, how he is able to. Okay, so I thought I would give the answer right here so that anyone else who has these questions will be able to understand. Okay, the first is that yes, he was jinn, okay, and jinnat were present on the earth before insan, before this modern man. Okay, last week I quoted tradition that says that there are thousands and thousands of Adam. This was the last Adam that we are talking about. Okay, before him and before him and before him and before him. Okay, so there were creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala present. Okay, and one of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was jinn. Okay, jinnat as we call it. Plural is jinnat. Okay, and these were inhabiting the earth. Okay, and aiming at nothing good. Okay, so eventually Allah wrath came on them. But of them there were some who were pious, some who were good. Okay, and Iblis was one of the good ones. Okay. He used to pray and pray a lot. Okay. And in otherwise show piety. Okay. The question arises that if takabbur was inside him, the arrogance was inside him, wasn't it known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay. The answer could be yes, it was known to Allah. But Allah gave him an opportunity, okay, and the two colors came out. That's one thing. Second is, was this arrogance present initially from him, within him, when he was from jinn in the earth, or was it arrogance become part of him after he became one of the leaders of servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Did the arrogance become a part of him after he was raised up, okay, and he was raised up to a station of a higher, status. Exact answer may not be known by anyone, okay? But this is a reminder to us that many times a person starts initially very humble and, okay, with a lot of humility, okay, and he does good, okay, and it's to be appreciated what he's doing, okay? But it may happen, okay, that over a period of time, okay, a person becomes arrogant. So if Shaitan had become arrogant, okay, he was still praying, okay, with the Malaika, he was still praying. He was more knowledgeable, and that may have stuck him still further into the path of arrogance. Okay? So the possibility of arrogance is ever present. 6,000 years of worship, how many? By some accounts, we are told 6,000 years of worship. $6,000 years of worship. But sometimes then, and this is a reminder to all of us, that the acts of worship may camouflage the arrogance that's inside. Okay? So the act of worship should be with humility and humbleness, okay, and ever-present thought in our minds that what we do is possible only because of the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And without it, nothing is possible. So eventually, there are many things that we can talk about in the case of Iblis, but I think this. Now regarding him, the first question was about Iblis himself, okay? Iblis himself, okay. The second question was how one person, Iblis one, is able to, so does his generation? Yes. Okay. Iblis is not alone. As he was jinn, okay, his generations also grew as of Adam. Okay. So it's not only one jinn today, but within that group of Jannat, okay, we have those who are God-fearing also. And Surah Jinn in Quran talks about, Surah is there now. Okay. Those jinn who accepted Islam, okay, those who accepted the prophethood of Muhammad alayhi salam, okay, they are those jinns. Okay. And they are those jinns who opposed. So within the community of jinns, okay, there are mu'mineen and kafirin. They are munafiqeen. Same as humanity, jinns also have the same distribution. They are believers and they are non-believers. Okay. They are those who are hypocrites, who say they are believers and they are not. Okay. They are kuffar who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His message directly. And they are mushrik who don't deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, yet they associate with Him. And there are those who, like Iblis himself, say that they believe in one God, and yet they don't want to act on what His dictates are. So within the community of jinn, you have all that. So Adam is in paradise, and we went last week that he, went near that, tree, and Bible says that tree was a tree of longevity. Okay, Wallahu alam. Okay, but we know that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala had said, "La takraba," don't go near. Okay, he is sent to earth, and that's where we were last week. Okay, he comes to earth. Okay, now he and his wife are on the earth, and they have children. Okay, the two sons, Habil and Qabil. You know the story between them. At that stage, both sons were married, by the way, and they had their own children. Okay, Habil was married at that stage. Okay, so was Qabil, and they were married to the Huriyas sent by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and not their sisters, as some believe. Okay, it was never done that way, and it would never be done any time. Yes, female infants, Huriya. Yes. Yes. Okay. Bringing Huriya in the physical form. Okay. For example, you are told that after the day of judgment, when you wind in paradise, okay, you'll have hur, isn't it? Okay, many, whatever it is. Okay, they will be in the physical form, okay? And that physical form definitely would be such that it would not be different from the form that you are in. Otherwise, relationship is not possible. Okay, so for lack of a better word, we are using the word, Huriya, someone from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala who has been created specifically so that the human race could be propagated. Okay. So, yes, they were married, both of them, and they outwardly were Muslims. They are Muslims, Habil as well as Qabil. Okay. But the piety, the goodness that Habil had, Qabil did not exhibit. Okay, he did not deny God at that time. Okay, but he did not exhibit. Okay. Eventually, they were asked for a sacrifice, and sacrifice of Habil was accepted, and Qabil saw that, and he became jealous, so as to say. Okay. And eventually he killed. Okay, he did not kill him instantly, by the way. No, that thought should not be there. Yeah? That he killed him instantly. No. The anger, the rage kept on multiplying, and eventually resulted in him killing his brother. Okay. Quran has described it, we know it, and we mentioned probably last week also. He buried his brother the way he saw a blackbird burying. Okay. That was the first killing on the earth of a human being by a human being. Okay. Adam ala Nabina alayhi salam was very hurt by this, okay, and Allah gave him another son, Initially, Adam had appointed Habil as his viceroy, okay, because of the goodness of his character. Okay. But he died. Okay. So now, another son is given, and the progeny of Shees became the progeny of Adam, the virtuous progeny of Adam. Okay. This is the process which occurred after Adam has sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Remember, he was thrown out, okay, and he sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So the whole generation of his is after that. And he kept on mentioning to his generation, okay, that I sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something that I did that I shouldn't have done. No, Adam telling his progeny. Yes. Remember, Adam has been thrown out of the paradise. Okay. Yes. Okay. So he was so grieved, okay, that he kept on saying, okay, Allahu Akbar. The du'as that, Adam used, I mentioned, some of them I mentioned, and in these du'as, he keeps on saying both of them, ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. Okay. Which tells us that whenever you commit a sin, whenever a mistake is made, okay, these are the words that you should use for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every commission of sin is zulm on your own self. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا. A sin does not hurt Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It hurts you. Okay. One of the ways it hurts you is it takes you away from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He and his wife are the only human beings on earth. The vast domain of earth is for them. Okay. There's nothing else. Okay. And still they feel the pain. Is this pain the pain of leaving the paradise? Or is it the pain of disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There are many people who say that it was the disobeying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was more painful than leaving the paradise. And of course there are those who say that leaving the paradise. I don't have, opinions regarding this, except I think that disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a greater pain. If we realize that's a greater pain. He said, this quote from Imam al-Baqir, it's present in Tafsir Safi. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik amiltu su'an wa zalamtu nafsi faghfir li wa anta khairul ghafirin. That's one. The other is La ilaha illa anta subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik amiltu su'an wa zalamtu nafsi fatub alayya. Ghafara you use the first one, okay? And Tab is used in the second. Tub alayya innaka anta tawwabur rahim. Okay. So when we are seeking the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these two words must be used. Okay. There are other words that are used. Okay. For example, Ya Rabbi tub alayya wa akbal ma'azirati wa aidni ila martabati, and reinstall me on my status, because he realized that he has lost the status from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Based on this, people sometimes talk about the status of being in paradise. To me, the status is not being in paradise, but the status is being of the chosen one. Okay. How he lost what was his status of being chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So Adam has two sons, one is killed, and when the son is killed, Habil, okay, he is very sad. Okay. And in some traditions it says that Adam mourned Habil for 1 year at least. Okay. And he never laughed after that. Habil, of course, was beloved to him, no doubt about it. He reflected his values and his self, and the killing of him had a profound effect on him. The place was Shees, okay? And he told Shees to keep his knowledge private from Qabil. Shees, of course, is born, and she's the prophet after, Adam, okay? Prophet Adam. Okay. And Adam tells him to keep the knowledge to himself and his progeny, and not share with Qabil. Shees. Shees. Shreen, Ye, Se. Shees. Shreen, Ya, and Se. When he was dying, okay, he called his progeny, okay, his children of Sheath, and anyone who was close by. And he said that virtues have fruits. Virtues have fruits, and those fruits are the sweetest around. Sometimes what happens is that we think, oh, it's so tiresome, or whatever it is, okay? But the fruit of that labor, of that virtue, is very sweet, okay? And he made all wasaya, and he pointed Shees as his, heir apparent, okay? He died, and he, by some accounts, was buried in what is Mecca. Okay. There are some who say that his body was removed, okay, and reburied in what is now Najaf. Okay. And my understanding is also that he was buried in Najaf. Okay. So that ends the first prophet of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're going to briefly talk about the prophets, and their lives, not in details, but briefly. Okay. Some of the things of Prophet Adam. Okay, that he was a person. When we, for example, we say we have an allergy and we sneeze, we say Alhamdulillah. Sneezing and saying Alhamdulillah, the first act of saying Alhamdulillah after sneezing was by Adam. It's a sunnah of our Prophet, no doubt about it. Okay, but Adam did it. Okay, Adam made the Hajj. Okay, he made the Hajj. Kaaba is made, and Adam makes the first Hajj. Jibreel descends on Adam and tells him, I'm going to take you to the house of Lord and show you the manasik so that you will make the Hajj. Okay. Kaaba is established time. He builds Kaaba. Okay. Yes. And then he is the first person to make the Hajj at Kaaba. And these, the Tawaf and all that, initial stages of Hajj are what Adam performed and is still being performed today. When Adam completed the Hajj, Jibreel gives him the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Adam, you have been forgiven. You have been forgiven. Even today, when a person makes the Hajj, okay, all his prior sins are forgiven. When Adam prays, after he knows that he has been forgiven, oh Allah, forgive my progeny also. And Allah's answer is, yes, I would forgive those from your progeny who believe in me and my coming prophets. In Torah and Injil, okay, and some of the traditions the Prophet son, we come to understand that Adam was at least 900 years on the earth. How many? 900 years. Okay. By some accounts, it's more than that. Okay. And till his death, everyone on the earth was Muslim, except Qabil's progeny, who was not. Qabil's progeny was not, okay, but Habil's progeny were all Muslims. Okay. So the issue of shirk did not arise at that time. Okay. Once Adam passed away, okay, his progeny was now under sheath. Sheath for the Prophet. And slowly and steadily, those who are opposed, they raise their heads. Okay, and shirk started. Okay. The main prophet after Shis is Idris. In Surah Maryam, verse 56 and 57, and Surah Anbiya, verse 85, talks about Idris. It is said that Idris is the first teacher of mankind. In Torah, his name is Akhnu. Akhnu. Alif, Kha, Noon, Vav, Ain. Akhnu. In Arabic, it's Idris. In Quran, it's Idris. Idris comes from Dars. Okay. That's why his name is the first teacher of mankind. It is said that he is the one who used the pen for the first time and taught people to write. Teacher taught people to write. He is the first one who sewed the clothes, tailored the clothes. Okay. He was in the area which is in Iraq, Kufa, and currently where Masjid Sahla is, and that's his ziyarat also. Okay. He was Hayat, which is a tailor, the person who sews the clothes, Within his house, so he had a tailor shop where he sewed the clothes, okay? An area where he used to teach. Okay. So his source of income was sewing. The source of income of Adam was cultivation and of others, and rearing, the sheep and all that. In this period of Idris, okay, people had turned to idol worshipping. Okay. As I said, at the end of the time, Adam, they were all muwahideen, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except Qabil's family. Okay. But as the time went on, okay, things changed. Okay. And now at the time of Idris, okay, there was a significant amount of idol worshippers. And Idris was told to go and preach. Idris, like all other prophets after him, went on, and resistance was intense. Remember, the progeny of Adam had spread far and wide. For those of you who may not know it, okay, Adam had 20 children. How many? Mhm. Mhm. 20. 20 children. Okay. Right. So the spread of progeny could be understood by 20 children. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made sure that His sunnah of brothers and sisters not marrying each other, okay, is in force. They were not married to each other. Okay. We are not given the exact, number of, males, male or female, but predominantly male. Predominantly male. We don't know the names. Okay. Quran gives only those two names, and tradition also. Okay. But one after another, we know the names of who were the prophets. Okay. For example, Shees is there. Okay. We know he's the son of Adam. Okay. Anus is after Shees. Okay. After Anus is Kaitan. Anus, yeah. Alif, Noon, Waw, Sin. Okay. After Anus, there is Kainan. Qaf, Ya, Noon, Alif, Noon, Qainan. After Kainan, Mahlail. And as the community expanded to different parts of the world, okay, they had their messengers, in each part. Till the major one, Idris, emerges, okay, and Idris is the teacher of mankind, okay. Many things that we see today originated with Idris, okay.
These prophets are between, I see, the prophets between Prophet Adam, Shees, and Idris, there are many several prophets.
There are smaller, messengers, right? Because Anbiya, they say, are of many kind, okay. Right? Those who are for a tribe, for example, okay. Anbiya Bani Israel, for example, for their tribes. Okay. Those who are for a region, okay, a locality, okay. Those are for the whole nation, for example. And then those who are for the whole world, for example, Ibrahim alayhi salam, okay. So Idris has been given the title, the teacher of mankind, okay, because many the things that humanity needed originated with him. Idris is the one who received Suhaf from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say that he received 30 Suhaf. Suhaf is the, plural of Sahifa. Yeah. Suhaf Ibrahim wa Musa, as you see, which means 30 chapters of, 30 pages, whatever. And for 300 years, he kept on teaching. For 300 years, he kept on teaching. Many followed him. He was 65 years old when he was told to preach. And for 300 years, he preached. And he was raised up, as we know. Okay. So complete age is 365. Okay. وَرَفَعْنَا هُ مَقَامًا عَلِيًّا. Okay. His mention is also in Torah, of course, okay, and in other historic writings. As a matter of fact, about 4,000 years before Christ, 4,500 years before Christ, okay, we have seen, things of that age, okay, writings of that age, for example, okay, that have been discovered archaeologically, and so we can say that, if he was the one who initiated writing, okay, then his period is around that period, okay, and for the first time, the written history and some, writings of that period is available. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, Allama al-insan bil-qalam. Okay. And qalam is the first thing that has been used by Idris. Okay. So high status of Prophet Idris. Okay. Allah gave him 4 sons. They were pious, God-fearing, okay, and very popular in the community because of their goodness. Okay. They were preachers. They were not prophets. They are saleh and they are preachers. Okay. Shaitan creeps in. He teaches people how to make idols of these people. Who? Idris and his sons. For barakah in your homes. Then, of course, worshipping to them rather than to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a way to penetrate, isn't it? Okay. It may lead to many other things, but that's the way to penetrate. Okay. So the love and affection that the community had for them, slowly, over a period of time, turned into worship. And the places of prayers became the places of worship. Till we reached the time of Nuh, ala Nabiyina alayhi salam.
This happened after Prophet Idris.
Yes, yes. After his and his sons passing away. Okay. So, except few mu'mineen at the time of Nuh alayhi salam, the rest were idol worshippers. And the idols became the source of worship in our homes. And few of the idols were marketed as him and his sons. community had left the deen, Islam, okay, and had become a community of worshippers of idols. That's the progress of prophethood, as we talk about, inshallah. And next week we're going to talk about Nuh alayhi salam and his period. And I'll try to briefly, just give you some summary of the whole chain of prophethood. Because when we were discussing prophethood last time, we, I think, talked about the attributes of prophets and their qualities and things like that, okay, but not their history, This is a brief history, not, detailed history, but brief history of, what happened till the time of Idris, and then after Idris, just before Nuh alayhi salam. We'll start with Nuh tomorrow, and maybe in a month or so, 4 sessions will complete other prophets, and then we'll go to the seerah of our own prophet, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, inshallah. Okay? Any questions? It's a beautiful book by Sayyid Anwar Zahrazadi, Sayyid Anwar Zahrazadi.